Good morning, everybody. My name is Ahmed Bawah, and I stand here today as a graduate of the Environmental Technologies program and the proud owner of Mama's Life Products. I'm here today to speak a bit about my journey as an entrepreneur and my involvement with applied research. Before I start, I would like to share a quote about success with the audience. Success takes place when opportunity and preparedness meet. Yet there's a catch. Something, in my opinion, this quote leaves out. Opportunity often comes disguised in the forms of misfortune or temporary defeat. I will elaborate on this as I continue my presentation. Now, from a very early age, I've always understood I wanted to run my own business, to be an entrepreneur, so I could one day be in control of my future. Being in control of my future did not necessarily equate to driving the latest Porsche, but for me, it meant having the ability to be in control of my life, to provide myself a better quality of life. Having the power to do what I want, how I want, and when I want has always appealed to me, even from a very early age. I remember in my youth working for the Scarborough Mirror, various temp agencies and various odd jobs, and realizing at the end of the day, you really didn't have much money or much time. I also remember seeing my parents working extremely hard. I remember seeing my dad working double shifts. And I remember him not really having much time because I really didn't have I would say, substantial relationship with my dad in my youth based on his working experience. For me, I remember witnessing all of these things while seeing those in positions of ownership, those who own businesses, always seeming to have more money, but yet important more time. For me, it's these sorts of experiences that led me down the rabbit hole of entrepreneurship. In 2007, I decided to start my own business, an all-natural health and beauty company that supplies health and beauty aids that provide natural alternatives for everyday living. Through transparency, innovation, and research, our goal as a company is to provide a holistic approach to health and beauty. Our products are engineered to tackle aging and skin restoration. For this reason, shea butter is used as a base in all our formulations. Shea butter is known to be rich in antioxidants because it has the ability to fight free radicals and has exceptional UV protection. In addition, shea butter is great for sensitive skin because it has soothing anti-inflammatory properties. The shea trees grow in what is north of the equator, what is known as the savanna desert in Africa. Shea butter, Vitillaria paradoxa, is not only special because of the many values it provides for the skin, but for the indigenous people of West Africa, shea butter for centuries has provided economic, social, and personal benefits. For many of the local women that live throughout the shea belt, the shea butter harvesting and production is one of their main sources of income. According to the Ghanaian government, in just Ghana alone, shea butter is the main source of income for over 900,000 women. I would like to ask the audience a question. Is there anybody here who does not like chocolate? If there is anybody brave enough to put up their hand, they might be reluctant to do so, not wanting to offend the rest of us chocolate lovers. Well, knowingly or unknowingly, we all here might have consumed shea butter in the past, as it is readily employed as an ingredient in the chocolate industry. In many instances, shea butter can be used similar to how people use coconut oil. For these reasons and many others, the people of West Africa call shea butter the tree of life because of all the benefits it provides. The traditional making of shea butter is done by a very ancient and manual process that can take up to 4 hours depending on the batch mixture. The women over a vast area collect the shea nuts from a green fruit that grows off of the shea tree. The nuts are then steamed to separate the kernel inside the nuts. These kernels are then pounded with the shea nuts, and what happens is the fatty acid starts to separate. This paste-like substance is then placed in water and reboiled so that that fatty acid tissue can submerge, which is then collected, reboiled again, and then filtered to leave you with this rich substance that we call today shea butter. As mentioned earlier, shea butter is used as a base in many of our products because of the many values it provides for the skin. As a moisturizer, shea butter is rich in vitamins A, E, and F, which gives you long-lasting protection because of the excellent absorption it has for the skin. Shea butter also has great skin protection qualities, where it gives you great UV protection, helps to prevent skin irritation, and is gentle enough to be used on babies. Shea butter is also an excellent healing agent because it has amazing abilities to repair, renew, and protect the skin. Shea butter is known to be used for cuts, burns, and other wounds because they heal faster when using shea butter. Shea butter is also ideal for blemishes, eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis. So many people with adverse skin conditions rely on shea butter because it's such an effective moisturizer for the skin. Shea butter is also known for its anti-aging properties because it is rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties, which help to soothe and alleviate the discomfort caused by arthritis and joint pain. Shea butter is also ideal for wrinkles, facial lines, and blemishes, as I mentioned earlier, and helps to restore elasticity to the skin and helps to soften tough skin. All of these values and many more is why I call shea butter the skin's best friend. In 2009, after a couple of years of running Mama's Life products, I encountered various challenges with production and the consistency of my products. I realized I needed to obtain more knowledge and access to networks that can help me with some of the challenges that I was facing. Through Centennial's outreach initiative, helping youth pursue education, known as the HYPE program, I successfully enrolled into school to further my education. At first, my thought was to seek employment, possibly in a cosmetic lab or somewhere within the environmental sector, to gain more skills and more capital to help grow my business. Had I known, during my journey as a student, within the third year, studying as an environmental technologist, I was presented with the opportunity to get involved in applied research through one of my professors, Dr. Andrew Bear. Right away, I saw the opportunity to connect my studies with my business. Having an entrepreneurial mind allowed me to see the transferable skills and seize the opportunity presented through applied research. As an entrepreneur, I believe you naturally gain the skill of thinking outside of the box. The opportunity presented through applied research allowed me to successfully obtain funding as a student-led research project. The scope of our project was to increase the marketability of shea butter in addition to assessing the feasibility of a small-scale distillation setup. Our objectives were thus set out: to determine the quality of our imported shea butter, to establish optimal laboratory setup procedures to which an essential oil distillation can be economically undertaken, and to determine the optimal ratio for shea butter to essential oil mixture. For 6 weeks, our Centennial College research team worked on 2 methods of essential oil distillation and extraction. Based on the source materials available, our focus was on oranges and lemongrass materials. We were able to perform both hydro and steam distillations and compare the effectiveness of both distillation methods in the extraction of oranges and lemongrass essential oils. The difference between hydro and steam distillation is basically the method of distilling, direct and indirect contact. In hydro distillation, your plant material is boiled in water, and the condensation that takes place has basically micro droplets of oil trapped into the water. So as condensation takes place and that oil collects, as we all know, oil and water don't mix. So what you're left with is that essential oil on the top as it condenses, and you're able to extract that essential oil. The water you're left with is called hydrosol because it contains microparticles of essential oil. So you have basically scented water and oil that's collected at the top. Steam distillation is indirect method of distilling where you boil water, you have a separatory funnel, and the steam that percolates through your raw materials again employs condensation and science, and again you're left with an essential oil in your water, on top of the water. We performed multiple extractions of both lemongrass and oranges. The data obtained thus allowed our research team to establish the optimal laboratory setups and procedures to which essential oils can be undertaken to provide the highest yield possible. In a nutshell, we were just trying to figure out the conditions that would allow us to extract the most oil from our plant materials. After the performed extractions, our research team was able to determine the composition of the extracted oils through chromatographic analysis using gas chromatography, infrared spectroscopy, and a refractive index. These are just fancy names for analytical instrumentations that we use in the chemistry lab to analyze the purity and concentration of our extracted oils, which allowed us to compare the extracted oils with industry standards. In addition to our essential oil extraction, the development of the shea butter recipe was our main objective. Our vision was to expand our product line by producing more commercially viable products. Through research, we were able to investigate methods by which essential oils can be mixed with bases, shea butter in instance, to produce cosmetics, creams, and moisturizers. Through experimentation, we were able to analyze our shea butter through various tests such as melting point, free fatty acid analysis, peroxide value test, and a moisture content test. Last, we obtained desired results by achieving the optimal standard regarding texture and shea butter to essential oil ratio. The key findings and benefits of our research project were thus achieved. The shea butter used in the project through fatty acid analysis was classified to be high in quality. It was high in quality. Based on the method of extraction in comparison with IR and GC analysis, our distilled oils were found to be similar to the commercial oils in quality. Our extracted oils were a bit different in their constituency, probably due to our method of distillation and the source of our raw materials. Again, I've greatly benefited from in my involvement with applied research. Not only was I able to flush out 2 base recipes for commercially viable products, I was able to make a shea butter variation that consisted of a proprietary blend of essential oils. One we produced a vanilla variation, and the other was a lemongrass variation. Through applied research, my confidence has increased in addition to my credibility. I've established a network of help and resources to help me along my journey as an entrepreneur. I feel as if my involvement with Centennial College during my entrepreneurial journey was destined. I am now currently linked with the campus's recently launched Accelerator for Young Entrepreneurs. My goals with ACCEL are to put the right supports in place for the success of my operations to ensure the sustainable growth of my company. Since joining ACCEL, I've had the opportunity to promote my brand at various events, and to prospective clients. I had the opportunity to speak at a CICAN conference in Quebec City, representing young entrepreneurs, and I was also recently featured at the OCE Discovery that just recently took place at the Metro Convention Center. We are currently, as a company, working with Centennial College, Applied Research and Innovation Center, OCE Smart Seed, and the One Network to expand Mama's Life products into an automated manufacturing process with the potential of a global reach and a profitable future. Our goal is to design an automated process to replace my current time-consuming and laborious process that will allow me to grow from about 4 kilo batch mixtures to 100 kilo batch mixtures. Our goal is to build a strong presence in our backyard through Shoppers and Rexall, and then to approach the international community. Due to the growth of my corporation, I've recently put a core team in place and hired 2 additional part-time staff to help out with the company. When I look back at my entrepreneurial journey, I am very humbled and grateful to be standing here today. Applied research was very instrumental by giving me the tools that I needed to take my confidence to a next level and to turn my expensive hobby into a business. So I was able to rebrand, and right now we're currently in over 12 health food stores, in addition to our beauty supply distribution that includes spas and barbershops. I also have distribution that stretches as far as Alberta, and I'm currently turning down orders as far as Netherlands, China, and Australia, just to name a few of the countries. I'm excited and very optimistic about the growth of my company. I would like to send a special thanks to my wife, who's my #1 supporter and puts up with a lot of me. I would also like to thank Dr. Andrew Bear, Woo Sup Lee, and everybody that supported my company and believed in my dream. I also would like to thank Centennial College, especially Eric and Hype, for their leadership and support, allowing students to pursue their dreams. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Ahmed. That was an amazing presentation, and really great to see such a great success story from one of our grads. Are there any questions for Ahmed?
Like where you can buy some, just letting you know.
We should have put that in the program.
I was just curious, why did you decide to make your own essential oils versus just buying like natural, organic essential oils?
Well, I guess the initial thought was to assess the feasibility of a small-scale distillation setup. As an entrepreneur, you kind of gain, I would say, the skill of trying to cut out the middleman. Going directly to the source. So the initial thought was to see if it was feasible and economically viable to produce our own essential oils, which we soon realized was not. If you look at our poster, I actually have 2 vials of the actual essential oils that we distilled. And as I mentioned, we worked with oranges and lemongrass. So I have a sample of both essential oils that we actually distilled. Definitely.
So it's interesting that one of the things you identified was scalability.
Yes.
And I think it's one thing that many companies, especially chemically based companies, often don't realize is going to be a huge issue when you're talking about making products of that type, is going from that smaller batch size to the bigger batch size. So as you scale up, I really encourage you to reach out to expertise here at Centennial or wherever you can find it, because I know a product that actually failed. It was a drug product because they couldn't scale it up properly. So scalability is a huge issue, and it's just not yours. It's anything to do with a chemically based product. So yeah.
Thank you for that strategic advice.
Any other questions?
Questions? Is that Barry? Question right here. For the automation, we have you for the chemical process, and
could you speak into the mic?
For the automation, that they are working in the automation, so it can be a joint project between you and them.
Yeah, currently, just to let the audience know, we are currently working with some proposals with NSERC, again, to help with the automation of the manual process, definitely.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. We wish you all the best and continued success.